Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is the week in review. Now listen, guys, this is not a recap show. We were literally just talking before we went live. We really felt meh about this week. I really didn't care about much. I did watch the clips from SmackDown. I totally skipped on NXT. I feel like NXT is really losing me. Evolve has been good, but since the first episode, they've been kind of depreciating in entertainment value to me. But there are still acts that I'm really curious to see more of, like Swipe Right and others. Yeah, it just, to me, in a phrase, like, it doesn't feel like it's the road to WrestleMania, save for a few storylines. So we're going to talk about things that we actually want to talk about. And I'm
Can
in this week,
I
and
can I
yes,
kind of get on a little bit of I guess it's not a high horse. There's another word that has a horse in it. I forget what it is.
uh, oh, not high horse. Well, I don't think we should be playing this word game. Whatever you want to get on, bud, this is our
Yeah.
time. Get on it, my
Yeah.
friend.
I just really wanted to say it cuz to be clear, I'm not saying this because I want to change anything. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to like make any kind of grand sweeping changes or anything. I'm more just saying this because I feel like I need to vent. You always open these shows with, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, and I have never felt less like a wrestling fan than I have really just recently.
Yeah.
Um, SmackDown last night, I didn't even really watch it all that intently or attentively, but having it on in the background even felt fucking soul sucking because of how much they were advertising the roast of WrestleMania with that fucker.
Yes.
Um, I was really starting to enjoy WWE for a time when Triple H took over, and now it feels like any goodwill he might have built up is draining so fast. It's actually unbelievable to watch.
Right.
NXT is kind of in a similar boat because I felt like they were really, really hot at the beginning of last year, and now a lot of that goodwill is starting to go down the drain as well. Um, I hear a lot of people saying that AEW is getting hot right now, and I'm happy for them. But I've attempted, and you know that I've attempted to watch their product recently, and it still just does not click for me. It's not a product that is for me, I think.
Yeah.
And even the Joshi stuff that we watch is actively seeking to alienate us as viewers. It just feels hostile towards us, basically, especially Stardom feels hostile towards Western viewers at this point.
Yes. Yes.
I just feel like there isn't really a place for me as a wrestling fan in today's wrestling landscape. And I it makes shows like this where we have to go live and talk about what we watched this week feel kind of empty, and I don't want to just say soul sucking again because that's already what I used to describe a SmackDown last night, but like, yeah, kind of along those lines. Because like there are obviously still some things that I do enjoy about pro wrestling, but I've literally used this analogy several times over the last couple months. If you can enjoy 60% of something, but the other 40% puts you in a bad mood, you shouldn't be watching that. That's something that's just bad for your mental health.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for a long time now about NXT and AEW. And it's starting to apply now to the main roster shows because of how far right their bullshit has gotten. Like we finally have Street Profits as tag champs, and they had a fantastic match last night. And yet every 15 to 20 minutes I'm having to hear about the roast of WrestleMania with a piece of shit hosting it whose name I won't even mention because they don't deserve to have their name mentioned on our fucking YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's like soul crushing. It sucks.
Yeah, it's I think the big thing too, just kind of piggyback off of your point, we've always been very honest with our viewers that we are a political podcast as well. Like we're very overtly left and et cetera, et cetera. So when you see the cultural zeitgeist like be so dominated by right-wing talking points and right-wing figures, you really feel displaced at best. And I'll speak for myself. I'm not speaking for Ashton here, but like terrified at worst
Yeah.
because you're looking at it, right? And you're like, was I just living in a country in my own mind this whole time? Because I always knew the US had problems, right? But I really felt like there was more of a progressive bent happening. And maybe now it will come, but with a lot of devastation because people are waking up to, wait a minute, these policies suck. But I don't want to veer too much into that. This is a pro wrestling podcast as well. But it's just to say, like any progress you make, but like it's funny for me because one of my favorite things about pro wrestling, and I would still include Joshi in this, but I do agree with you about Stardom's hostility. And Money Gold's in a weird place because, like, you're still growing. And it's weird for me when Utami is your world fucking champion, but I still feel mostly apathetic because, like, that reign, I'm still waiting for the meat to go on the bone for me. And so, yeah, when you see all that, like, when you see the women cooking, you also realize that we're living in a country that would love to see those women get set back socially, right? And that, like, you get this weird feeling in the pit of your stomach, for me. But yeah, when it comes to wrestling, um, the word I would use to try and be succinct, me being succinct, that's a fucking miracle, would be tedium. There is a real tedium to me on this road to WrestleMania where in part it doesn't even feel like WrestleMania. I think the people that understand the assignment to be as judicious as possible are the women, and specifically Bianca, Rhea, and Io, and possibly Bailey and Roxanne if they do stuff. I am not liking what Charlotte and Tiffany are doing at all. But I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not going to give any negativity here. I think Jay and Gunther, for their part, that does feel like a WrestleMania worthy type match. I think
And
there was something.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
apparently, Jay versus Austin Theory this week wasn't supposed to be a squash match, and it got cut short due to something else going wrong. And it was so sloppy that Jay won with a spear that looked so much like a crossbody that Cole called it a crossbody on commentary.
Yes. I'm really starting to feel bad for Jay too, because I don't know if it's starting to get to him like this big moment, but people have been calling him out more apparently for the in-ring stuff. This is the only the first time that I noticed it. I know Cliff in our Discord said like he's noticed it a while. I can't co-sign on to that, but I still hope him and Gunther cook.
There was
And then
also
let's
like the weird couldn't get over the top rope thing that we were I know people were calling out Michael Cole for not giving it to Jay Uso the way that he gave it to Top Dollar when he had the same botch.
yeah. And let's talk about the elephant in the room here, because you and I, like during gaming sessions, like Rocket League and such, we said a lot about this. John Cena cuts his first promo as a heel,
Yeah.
and I told you before we went live that I had to do my teeth, right? And something I do while I'm doing my teeth when I know that we have this recording is I kind of get my quote unquote notes. I wouldn't really call them notes, just like kind of wandering thoughts that I do want to bring here. I kind of got them in order, and I really focused on this segment. And it's funny because the actor Charlie Cox, when the Daredevil Netflix series originally ended, I remember there was an article that came out that he was having trouble getting work. Like he missed a chance to work on Star Wars because in his audition he acted too much like Matt Murdock. Like even like the way that he kind of looks like off to the side to kind of like demonstrate the blindness and such. It was like a learned habit for him. And I bring that up because I wonder if John Cena's been a babyface for so long, he doesn't know how to be a convincing heel right now. Because I'm listening to this promo, and I'm sorry, I'm not buying any of it. It felt contrived to me. It felt like, oh, we'll just go the abusive relationship angle. And the one thing that I wanted to say about it before I handed it off to you was that I felt like Daniel Bryan when he had the eco savior heel turn, kicking AJ Styles in the balls. I feel like he had a better John Cena heel turn than John Cena because his motivation for it was brilliant. He said, "Look, I almost lost my career for a time. I did lose my career, and everybody, they love me and they were chanting yes, but." you weren't in that hyperbaric chamber with me. And then, like, he even turned the whole thing, like, if you fight for your dreams will fight for you. And he turned it into this brilliant heel thing. I would have liked something similar with Cena, but Cena acknowledging, like, you called me Super Cena for years, but Father Time remains undefeated. I'm getting older. The opportunities are getting narrower. I have a chance to be a 17-time world champion. I'm the same guy this company wanted to fire before I pulled rapping out of my ass on a tour bus. And now I could be the guy that's the greatest of all time. And you wanted me to give that up for what? For morals? For values that most of you booed me for however many years. Like, I feel like there was a better John Cena promo here, and for me personally, I didn't hear it. Like, I don't know, this just fell flat for me. And you already know how I feel about Cody, man. I'm not about to talk about Cody again. Everybody knows I hate him. That doesn't need to be repeated. I know we've talked about the Cena promo a few times, just you and I. Have you thought any differently about it? Do you just want to rehash anything we've talked about here? I'm just curious for you to get your thoughts on the record here
I
about that
think
promo.
I think you and I agree for the most part. I think that I think because you really emphasized sort of like the almost like the phoniness of it all, and like how it just doesn't feel legit. It doesn't. It kind of gives it gives fake. It gives phony. It gives kind of fraudulent kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I more agree with the second part of what you were saying, which is I just think that the motivation for the heel turn should have been that lust for number 17, that lust for the 17th title for the record, rather than because I think my main issue, like my number one issue with this heel promo, how do you come back from it?
Yes,
Like,
and you had said that in our combos. I'm actually glad I
yeah,
didn't take that from you so you could say it here.
yeah,
Yeah, because I
like
agree.
because they're not going to keep Cena heel, or at least on paper they shouldn't be aiming to keep Cena heel for the entire remainder of his career, which is the entire rest of this year. So in a perfect world, you'd like for him to be able to go back to being a face before his run is up, and like having him cut this promo that is meant to be very much like these are all the feelings I've been holding in all this time, and this is the real me. This is how I really feel. You can't take that back. You can't be like, this is the real me. This is how I really feel. And then 6 months later be like, haha, I was JK. That was just, my anger or my greed or whatever talking. I would never really say those things to you guys because that's actual abusive relationship shit, except in the opposite direction. We're seen as the abuser then.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I agree. And like, I guess for me, because I'm so glad you brought that part back up, because for me too, I was thinking while I was getting ready for the show, I'm like, when you have a heel turn of this magnitude, like this is his generation's like Hulk Hogan and stuff like that when he joined the NWO, you only get one chance to do it, right? And like, I like the initial turn, like the actual turn, like on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Right.
But like you gotta hit the ground running. And again, like you said, I was looking for a promo more about that lust for 17, more really being introspective, even showing a bit of insecurity, but not like in a over the top way, just being like, Father Time remains undefeated again. And how many chances I had a losing record up until I won Chamber. Like the last time I won a match was forever ago, and it's like, what do you expect me to do? Um, and like, I don't know, I guess another reason why I had the whole abusive relationship thing and I kind of was like, is because, WWE kind of embraced it for so many years. Like, always such a polarizing figure. Whether you love him, whether you boo him, he's always John Cena. So, like, I don't know. If you were going to cash this chip in, I feel like you should have done it earlier. And it just feels weird
Yeah,
now
this
to
is
me.
like a 2014 chip to cash in. Or
Yes.
or earlier even. You could have done this even earlier than that because realistically, like the Cena hate really peaked in like the late 2000s, like '07, '08, '09, and then kind of tapered off after that. And I would say, like, if you were going to really cash in on it, 2012, 2013, 2014 would have been the ideal time to do it. But like right now, current day, especially like given that this is literally designed to be the retirement tour, it's his last year of wrestling, like it just feels very if, I hate to use the word forced, but I can't think of a better word to use right now.
That's why I've been saying contrived repeatedly, because that's
Contrived
what
is a
I
good
I
word. Yeah, it feels
yeah,
very contrived. I think,
manufactured, like
yeah, because it literally it comes off like we need an excuse for Cena to be a bad guy so that we can keep Cody face. You know what? How are we gonna have Cena turn heel? And they were like, let's just fucking come up with a few ideas and pick our favorite. And they came up with a bunch of ideas and picked the worst one. Like,
can I just say too, bro, like it's crazy that they do this now. And again, I don't want to get too deep into it. And I said I wouldn't talk about the promo, and this isn't about the promo, but I do blame Cody for this because he's so insecure and he has that inferiority complex. He needs to be loved by everybody. And apparently the plan was for him to go heel with Rock, which would have been interesting, but he said no because he's like, no, I want to remain a babyface. But the thing was, this is probably the most overseen has been in a minute. Like crowds love seeing him. They've missed him. They want to be on this ride with him. Granted, at Rumble,
this is the
you
most
know,
universally beloved Cena's been. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, exactly. And now, granted, at Rumble, like Jay had his support, but kudos to WWE then because that shows that you've really made a hot baby face,
Yeah,
in the present day. So, like, I wouldn't take that as a knock against Cena, but more as like pro Jay Uso.
yeah.
And it's like, no, we could do the whole thing and have Cody be a heel and Cena be like, I've been where you're at, where you feel like the fans don't appreciate you, but they do. At the end of a career, you'll know how much you were appreciated and you just didn't have the heart to stay in it, the tenacity to stay in it. It would have been
Yeah.
cheesy, sure, but it would have been, I think, more honest
That's the other
than what we
thing
got.
too is I feel like we really got robbed of what really would have made the Cody Cena feud worth it, which is the story of Cena having been there, done that, knowing what it's like to be the guy, the face of the company, getting to sort of talk down to Cody, struggling with the weight of that responsibility. We are never going to get to see that now because Cena's entire motivation isn't even like that anymore. Like it's not even about that anymore. They've completely like altered the course of this story to the point that there is no real reason for Cena to like go after Cody for that reason. I mean, I'm sure he'll be, saying shit like, "Oh, just wait for the fans to turn on you too, the way they did to me." Like, well, fine, whatever. But it's lacking depth now. We've lost a lot of the depth that we could have had if they would have just kept Cena in more of like the same sort of tweener role that he's been in for fucking ever at this point, for 20 years at this point, where he's just John Cena. He's not necessarily a pure-blooded babyface. He's always done sort of cheeky stuff, but he's definitely not a heel. He's not a bad guy, and you just let him be him, and then you have Cody maybe lean into more of the dark thoughts and more of like the maybe I am really kind of losing it. Maybe I can't bear the weight of it. And then obviously you fucking have Cody win in the end. But now with this, I feel like Cena has to win just to justify the heel turn at all.
God, and I can't believe I'm saying this. And I recognize like both the potential hypocrisy and the gravity of me saying this, given how I've talked on the podcast for a good while. But like Cody just does not measure up as a
Yeah,
babyface for that half of the equation. Like I even feel like a babyface CM Punk, with the way Punk has been like right now, would be so much more juice than Cody Rhodes is right now. And all the
I also
problems I
just
have
want to
with
really address Javaris in the chat right now because he said that he feels like we're looking for some galaxy level reason for Cena to be heel when it's just simple. Cena been shat on for decades and he resented it. Like it's literally the opposite. It is literally the exact opposite of what you said, Javaris. We're looking for simplicity. We're literally just looking for the reason that Cena turned heel to be because he wanted to break the 17 world record,
yeah,
world title record. That's all we wanted it to be was that. And we really didn't even want it to be like a full blown heel turn. We didn't want him to go full, I hate the fans now heel. We just wanted him to be willing to cheat in order to achieve his means to hit that record. Like What he said after the Rumble was, I want to hit 17 so that I can be the man that stands there to shake the hand of 18. Like, that was cool as hell. The motivation was there already. We didn't need all of this I hate the fans now bullshit. That's overcomplicating it.
And in fact, when you look at our reasoning and the Cena that we wanted, for a time I thought we were going to get it because even before like the actual assault on Cody, when he puts the STF on Punk, you can audibly hear him say to Punk, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like I've watched that multiple times.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah,
literally like that's exactly what we were wanting. That right there was like this sort of like regretful, relentless, ruthless Cena. Like this Cena who is willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means compromising his morals. But like, no, instead we're getting this weird, like, I actually have hated the fans all along version of Cena, which makes less than zero sense. Like, you don't do all of the shit that he has done for the fans with the make a wishes and the appearances and the signings and all of that shit. You don't do that shit if you hate the fans. That's just nonsense. It's literally just contrived, written bullshit that they're making the John Cena character say so that the fans cheer for Cody. Because if they wanted the fans to cheer for Cody, they weren't going to get that if Cena was just doing what he's doing to get to number 17, because fans would have gotten behind that. Fans would have been like, hell yeah, Cena, do whatever it takes, win that 17th world title. And there are still going to be some fans that are like that. John and I are two of them. But
yeah.
like the number of fans that are going to be rooting for Cena now is going to be cut down significantly because he's cut a scathing promo, not even on Cody, but on the fans to be like, hey, fuck you. I hate you. I've never liked you. You're the worst. And this is the real me now. Like Cena cut a promo that was like, point of no return. Fuck the fans. You all suck. How do
Scorched
you
earth.
yeah, scorched earth, exactly, burning the bridges with the fans, basically. How do you bring him back from that to get babyface Cena for the last few months of his career? Like, how are we going to have a babyface Cena on the way out, literally ending his career at the end of 2025? Which I assume is what we're supposed to be getting. But now I don't know how we're going to do that in a way that makes sense, unless we just do like Roman Reigns, where we just randomly have him decide, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to be a babyface now. And he starts doing babyface shit. And the fans are going to want to root for him anyway, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense because he just told them how much he hated them.
Yeah, you know what? I think you said it perfectly. If I said anything else, it would start getting redundant. So you mentioned Roman Reigns. Let's just talk really quick about this story because I am intrigued by it. This whole Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins triple threat that's going to happen at Mania.
Yeah.
Um, God, I'm in such a weird place because I can give Punk his flowers and he's really been stepping up lately, but I kind of prefer just a Seth Rollins Roman Reigns one-on-one match. Those two just always freaking cook for me. But like I get Punk's motivation for wanting Seth because Seth screwed him out of the main event of Mania. I could see Seth's motivation for wanting Roman because he stopped Seth from ending CM Punk, and obviously Roman's motivation for wanting Seth because Seth tried to take him out. Roman's motivation for Punk though is the weakest, like
What
because he
even is it?
mentioned. Well, because he said he screwed him out of the Royal Rumble, but as was pointed out in that same SmackDown segment, Rumble is every man for himself. You can't really say, "Oh, you screwed me out of it," especially when it was a perfectly legal
So it's
elimination.
really just Roman being salty at Punk for eliminating him from the Rumble and
Yeah,
phrasing it in such a way that makes it sound devious when it wasn't.
and like I don't know, like maybe Roman will we'll see like in a couple weeks, like he comes out and he says, it's about more than that. I feel like my tribal chief, like I'm losing him because you're best friends with him, and I think he would side with you over me. And like Paul Heyman's kind of a scumbag, so I don't really know why you would fight over Paul Heyman, but I think it could be compelling. I do like Paul as a character and as a promo. So yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's going to be a solid in-ring matchup, and the story isn't awful by any means. I don't know. I just want to tighten up Roman's presence in this, particularly with his hostility towards Punk. So yeah, that's all fine. Let me ask you something, man, because you're a huge EO fan. How are you feeling about her, Bianca, and Rhea? Because I actually do feel like they're doing a solid job. How are you
Yeah,
feeling about that
it's
story?
good. I'm definitely enjoying the build to that. I love the way that Rhea sort of showed up and forced her way into the match by signing her name onto a contract that she wasn't supposed to be a part of at all. That was really cool. Um, the slamming Bianca onto the table and then powerbombing Io on top of her was a really cool moment for Rhea. Rhea is really standing out here, and she's really trying to make it about herself. And I think that Io is doing a good job of sort of playing the third wheel role while not allowing herself to get lost in the sauce. Just kind of the face palms and really selling the shit out of them and taking bumps off of them and stuff, and then coming back to not let the women that are doing it to her get away with it, basically. And of course, Bianca is doing her own thing, doing a great job, bringing the attitude, bringing the promos, and the match is going to be incredible. That's like easily, far and away, the single match on WrestleMania that I'm looking forward to more than anything else.
I think I'm at a point where I completely agree with you on this. Look, the child in me kind of grinned a little bit because I got WrestleMania 20 vibes because we know this is how Michaels got in the Benoit Triple H WrestleMania matchup by putting his name on a contract the same way Rhea did. So I kind of love this energy that it was supposed to
They're
be.
literally just copying that whole feud pretty much beat for beat, honestly.
Yeah. The biggest difference being that Io is very clearly a babyface, whereas Triple H was the like heel champion going into that. She's the babyface champion. But yeah, it's very interesting how they're kind of pulling that off and putting it together. I hope that match gets time because not only could that be the match of Mania, that could be another match of the year contender, which I think for both of our lists, women are running away with.
Yeah.
So kudos to women's wrestling, man, because it's the best thing fucking going. Speaking of women's wrestling doing well, I also am enjoying what they're doing with Naomi and Jade. Jade had a decent
Yeah,
match
dude,
with
there are
Liv.
so many people who are salty right now that Liv Morgan got a win over Jade Cargill. It's hilarious.
And dude, I loved it. I loved it because here's the thing: you need to give Naomi something, right? And I know, like you already gave her pushing Jade through that windshield, but I mean in the context of them actively feuding now. Like you need to give Naomi
Yeah,
even a
Jade has been
psychological
beating
advantage.
the fuck out of Naomi for weeks.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, you've got to give her something. Otherwise, how am I supposed to believe that Naomi can do anything against Jade? So yeah, I was quite happy about this, man. And again, as I said, Naomi's heel look and her energy, I'm about it, man. I'm
Yeah,
like, God damn.
she's great.
She,
I think
yeah.
yeah, Jade and Naomi one on one, I don't really know how good that match is going to be just because, we love Naomi in this household, but I don't think that Naomi is like one of those like supreme like workhorse type wrestlers who's going to carry someone on Jade's level to a great match. But I just hope that they plan it out ahead of time and they have a really good story going on the match, and that's like my best hope. Or if they really want to get spicy, it could very well just be a squash. Jade could just squash her, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy about that, but it would at least be compelling because it's like, damn, Naomi, had it coming just because of the fact that she shoved Jade, and it's Jade's revenge kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, brother, then we kind of hit a wall for me because, like, we're not a recap show, and we both kind of had this preamble at the beginning about like the state of wrestling and more specifically like our fandom. I really don't want to talk about NXT this week. Like, I've just checked out of
Dude, I
NXT.
feel like I barely even watched NXT this week. Like I genuinely remember hardly anything about the show. I'm gonna look through the recap real quick. I don't remember the Chelsea Solruka match at all. I remember Trick being an asshole for the whole show until he finally got his
Again, which,
win.
we've already kind of beat that horse to death, so it is what
Yeah.
it is, I guess. Whatever.
I don't remember the tag match at all. I don't remember, Briggs and Inamura apparently beat Hank and Tank. I remember seeing the Culling versus the Family being a thing that happened on my TV, but I paid zero attention to it. Apparently the Culling won. Nico Vance got the winning pin. I don't remember. I don't know who was on though. Um, Maybe Crucifino. I'm gonna guess it was on Crucifino. Um, we've Carmen lost to JC Jane. Uh, Ricky Saints beat Ridge Holland, and then Trick beat Eddie in NXT Underground via TKO. It was a horrible NXT episode this week, like one of the worst I can remember.
Well, yeah, there you go. I feel like we've already talked about all the salient points of SmackDown because I even told you before we went live, like I'm not even hating what KO and Orton are doing, but like I just know KO's losing, and it's
Oh, you
like,
know what, dude? I do wanna point out one little highlight from NXT. Jada Parker cut two really good promos on NXT this week.
oh, nice, nice, that's good at least.
I do remember that. I do remember Jada cutting promos and thinking, "Damn, she's a really good talker. I really hope that someone educates her about trans people."
Dude, I hope somebody educates the fucking world about trans people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I mean, do we want to talk about Evolve a little bit? Because you and I have started watching that together
Yeah,
on
Evolve was
Wednesdays.
fun this week. It was definitely nowhere near as good as episode 1, and if I remember correctly, it wasn't even quite as good as episode 2. Like they've basically like we're going downhill. Like episode one's quality was great, episode two's quality was all right, episode three's quality was eh. Um, we open with a Brinley Reese versus Mason Holiday. I liked Mason Holiday. I thought she was cool, but of course Brinley won. Not a fan of that. And then afterwards, I think Brinley got asked about something that she said in the ring, and she was like, "I don't remember saying that." And then she just walked off.
Okay.
She was allowing her work to speak for itself.
Yeah.
Then we had TNT in the VIP section, and they're here for a fight, which sets up a match that we had from them later on. There was a promo from someone named Jordan Oasis. I don't remember this. Do you?
I don't remember it either, unfortunately.
Okay. Then there was another promo from someone named Sam Holloway. I think we probably skipped through this because we saw that Gallus. Oh, that's why. Because they were Gallus's opponents. Gallus faced Jordan Oasis and Sam Holloway, and we skipped over all that shit. Then we got promos from Layla Diggs and Chantel Monroe, and we really like Layla Diggs, or at least I really like Layla Diggs. I can't speak for you.
Yeah, I thought she was good. I thought she was good.
Yeah, Layla Diggs was really, really good. I liked her a lot. She gives like face of a division vibes to me. Not right now, obviously. She's still very green and has a long way to go, but like just pure like vibes, energy, standpoint, she I think has sort of face of the company type potential. She's fantastic. Chantel
Yeah.
Monroe, I think, has great top heel energy too. She reminds me of Ginny, as in like
Yeah.
Gunther's wife, Ginny.
Yes, yes,
She
yes.
reminded me a lot of her in terms of vibes. The match was fun. It was solid. It was a good match relative to how inexperienced they both are. Chantel did win. Then we got promo from Hayes Jameson, who I also remember liking a lot. She was a former volleyball player, and I actually found her profile from when she was playing college volleyball, and she played a position called libero. Which, for those of you that don't know volleyball terminology, the libero is a defensive specialist. They are literally their number one most important job is to not let the ball touch the ground. They are literally all over the place, constantly running around like crazy. So Hayes Jameson is most likely pretty fast, pretty explosive, pretty athletic, which is exciting because she's not tiny. She's not one of these little like 5'1" like Roxanne Perez sized girls. She is 5'7". She is like Bailey sized and athletic like that. So I'm very excited to see what she does in the future. But unfortunately, this week she came up against the fucking buzzsaw that was a motivated Callie Armstrong.
Yeah. She demolished Jameson. That
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah,
That was yeah. I think this really flipped the switch for me. I ended up really liking her. Um and I'm looking forward to how she grows, particularly as a promo. Because I'll tell you, man, like I think she's kind of going for a Hall of Pain Mark Henry type promo style, where he has those like really aggro sound bites, like I got a lot left in the tank and stuff like that. And she's saying like straight like that and stuff like that. Like I guess more or less saying like I stand on business. So I think when she hones in on her promo skill, she could be a real like monster heel in the women's division, and that would be really interesting.
yeah, yeah. She's really cool. I like her a lot. I think you and I both liked her in the very first match on episode 1, where it was her and that fucking MAGA woman that thinks that cloud seeding is a thing when they lost to Carly Bright and Kendall Gray. But of course, the MAGA woman was the one that ate the pin in that, or I think she tapped out actually to Kendall's armbar or something like that.
Yes.
But since then, Callie has been on one trying to get matched, trying to prove herself, saying I wasn't the one that lost and stuff. So she finally got her chance here, and she destroyed Hayes Jamison. Literally won in like 30 seconds. Like this was a true blue squash match. And
Yeah.
she even, kept talking her shit afterwards, like you said. Then we got a Kylie Ray interview. I really do not think anything of Kylie Ray. I think that her promos are very awkward. Do you remember the internet sensation that was Boxy?
No.
Okay, might be before your time, but that
Possibly.
is that is who Kylie Ray's talking style reminds me of, which is even more cringe when you know that she's like a 30-year-old grown ass woman and Boxy was like a teenage girl trying even harder to sound like a younger woman than she already was. And now here's Kylie Ray talking like that at like 30 years old.
Yeah, I did not like this promo at all.
No.
I'm gonna really put my foot down and say, like, I think Kylie Ray is decent in ring. I actually enjoyed her match against Zara Zacher last week.
I
But
love Zara Zacher. She's fantastic. And she
yeah,
is also young and inexperienced, which makes how good she is that much more impressive.
yeah. I'm with you 100% on her, but Kylie Ray, like I really was not feeling this promo at all. And I don't like that she was like, oh, I didn't read the note or whatever. And then she throws the note away because she's like, oh, Wendy Chu scares me. It's like, oh, okay. I'd rather
It
you
does
just like,
seem like, based on that, I don't know. It's weird because Wendy Chu, I think, is supposed to be a heel, but she's like a beloved heel. So it's like she's probably supposed to be a heel, but she's like she gets cheered by the crowd. And I think that Kylie is kind of the opposite, where Kylie, I think, is supposed to be a baby face, but the crowd hasn't accepted her yet. So they're kind of on opposite ends of, you know, polarized crowd reactions.
I don't know if this is me being too hard on her or too visceral. I worry though that Kylie Ray might have like a similar Pete Dunne problem because I feel like she's had this gimmick for so long, but you are like getting older now. Like that's why I feel like Bailey is so good at what she does, right? Because I feel like she stepped away from the hugger gimmick at the perfect time and she really evolved. And now this current iteration of
Oh,
Bailey,
wow.
what was that?
Wait, that wasn't meant to be a joke about this brand?
Oh no, no, no! I wasn't even thinking about that, bro.
I
You're
thought
playing
it
3D.
was.
You're playing 3D chess. I haven't even gotten the checkers out from under the
But yeah,
bed.
Kylie
Um,
Ray, by the way, when we first became aware of her existence in AEW, it was 6 years ago.
yeah, and so like you look at Bailey and she's changed characters over time, and this latest iteration, like I feel like I probably like it more than WWE does because it just really seems like mellowed out babyface veteran that's like, hey, I just want to wrestle, I just want to make good after all the havoc I caused. But yeah, Kylie Ray just seems stuck in this character. So the best thing they could do in this story for me is have her turn on Zara because Zara beat her and then like maybe get a win back against her through cheating and then they have a third matchup and Zacher just wins and that gives her that rub. But we'll have to see where it goes.
Do you know how old Zara is, by the way?
Isn't she like 24?
23.
Okay.
Yeah, she's 23 years old, and she literally only just debuted in January of 2023. She's only been doing this for 2 years, and she's already like this.
That is wild, good
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. She did come out to like kind of save quote unquote Kylie Ray here because Wendy appeared on the Tron to just kind of stare menacingly at Kylie.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we had promos from a couple guys who were going to be the guys that were going to be taking on the TNT, Tyson Dupont, and Tyreek Igwe.
Yeah.
And the guys we got promos for were Draco Knox, who is a ginger guy, big son of a bitch, big old beard, athletic guy, played college football. And then Tate Wilder, who also played football, but he's more of a cowboy. Like his identity isn't football player, even though he played football. His identity is cowboy because he comes from a family of ranchers and cowboys. He's a fifth generation cowboy, basically.
Okay.
And Tate Wilder was the one with the broccoli hair, and then Draco Knox is the ginger guy. And they were solid, but thankfully TNT actually finally got a win. Wish they were getting dubs on NXT main.
I love them, bro. And on it, it's
Can I?
again, it's gonna. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're gonna say
I was gonna say, can I just say I'm legitimately upset and frustrated by the fact that these guys' original gimmick that they had when they came in, which was like healthy, positive friends who supported each other and weren't afraid to like hug in public and stuff, is just completely out the window at this point.
you said what I literally was going to, but better than I would have. So thank you. Because yeah, I'm pissed that they're heel. I'm pissed that they're basic heels. These guys were representative of positive black male masculinity. And like that is so desperately needed in our culture, especially right now. Jesus fucking Christ. We're in the midst of a neo-segregationist movement, and you've got these guys that just feel like, just the emblematic of the stereotypes that predominate again in black male culture. I mean, I remember that video package. One of them was a community leader and builder. The other one was studying to be a fucking doctor. Like you said, they had no problem hugging in public and shit. Like, that's beautiful. That's inspiring. That's like, holy shit, where the fuck has this been? And now Wes Lee, who's also been an awful fucking heel, gets in their ear and he's like, oh, you got to do what it takes to win matches, be aggressive, like all that standard bullshit. And like, yeah, it's cool seeing them get a win on Evolve, but they're not winning on NXT. And they're physically impressive and they're wonderful to watch, but like they're just one dimensional and boring. Like,
Did we
I don't know.
really trade a legitimately wholesome, unique 21st century gimmick for a win on the D show?
Das. Oh, what came after this?
The main event, which was Luca Crucifino versus Javier Bernal, which I hate that this even happened here. This feels like something that would be better suited for like an NXT level up type show, which doesn't exist anymore. So I guess it has to be on this show. Luca was just on NXT actually, and Javier Bernal is like, I don't know, a guy, just a guy, which is like, I know that you and a lot of the people that are here are wrestling fans and not football fans, but some of the people here are football fans. So, when I call someone just a guy, it's incredibly insulting because that is like an NFL scouting term for someone who is like below mid, someone who is incredibly mediocre to the point that they're never going to be anything worth noting in football. That to me is Javier Bernal in WWE and wrestling in general. This dude is the definition of a jag, which is again the acronym for just a guy. He exists. Like bring back Kona Reeves because at least he entertained me.
He's doing well. He came too early. It wasn't his time yet. But yeah, I really didn't care about this main event. Literally, the only thing that popped me was Lucas' finisher, which I feel like was some like wild fisherman variant or something. And he gets the win. But then the other thing that popped me, admittedly, was Keanu Carver coming out to confront Crucifino.
Yeah, and then
Because I'm like,
Harlem
okay,
Lewis too. They both did because Crucifino was like, no one in that locker room can take me. I'm the best here. And then, yeah, Keanu and Harlem both were like, oh, yeah, want to bet?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see what that leads to, but yeah, I don't know if Evolve is gonna really hold us for too long.
It
Like
feels
if
like one of those shows that's going to have like one or two great episodes a month.
yeah, I almost wonder if we could like preview the cards and then we could like do select watches of the people we like once we really start to figure out this roster because I want to see more of Kendall Gray. I want to see more of Kelly Armstrong, definitely more of Keanu Carver. Like I have people that I'd want to
Bro,
watch.
Kendall Gray was such a like literally we've seen 3 episodes of this now so far. We've watched three, basically a little over 2 hours worth of content because they're each episode is like 40 to 50 minutes or so. So we
Yeah,
basically had a little over 2 hours worth of content that we've watched so far, and the number one standout across all of that time to me has been Kendall Gray. No one has made me more like excited about where they're going to be 2, 3, 5 years from now than Kendall Gray.
I would agree with you. And for me, man, I love what they're doing with Swipe Right and Zeta, seemingly making them a trio right now. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see more of that fucking
Dude,
shit.
how has Zeta Steel not wrestled a match yet on this show? Jesus Christ.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, like, goddamn.
I
Let's
have
have
no other.
Zeta Steel versus Kylie Ray on the next show, and Wendy Chu costs Kylie the match. There we go.
You know what? I'm actually glad you brought that up because I believe on this episode, Zeta stole that note. Like once Kylie threw it away, Zeta took it for some reason. So
Nice.
maybe Zeta's looking to manipulate Wendy Chu for her own advantage. See, I told you, friendships in pro wrestling are just game pieces that you know how to use. Look at Zeta learning. Oh man.
Zeta's
All right,
such
well,
a shit stirrer. I love it.
I know. So yeah,
You know who
this
else is a shit stirrer?
what's that?
Nia Jax.
Oh God.
I'm
Yeah.
serious though. I'm serious because there was something that happened recently. Let me actually see if I can find the exact thing.
I was gonna ask you if this is a genuine segue because I'm like, you
Yeah,
please fucking
it
like what
is.
the
It is
fuck?
a genuine segue. So, somebody posted on X that Charlotte Flair is selfish and buried a wrestler. Basically, here it is. So, at Who is Vindictive on X posted on no shade to my queen, but I do think Charlotte was a bit too selfish in that segment. She pretty much buried Tiffany. Hashtag SmackDown. Just in response to the interview that we got between Charlotte and Tiffany on SmackDown, and Nia reposted it.
Wow.
She's such a shit stirrer, dude.
I hate everyone.
It's true
So
though. It's true, dude. I didn't even watch the segment because I have no interest in anything about that feud. But I literally was like watching Mark react to the episode of SmackDown as he was reacting to it because he watched it early, and like apparently it was really bad. He said, I just watched a clip of Tiffany drowning in a promo battle against Charlotte and I'm dying. How do you lose a promo battle against Charlotte? It wasn't even that good. It was just Tiffany being so much worse.
Jesus Christ, we are so cooked. Because you know now, especially with the political and cultural moment we're in with this company, Tiffany's gonna be on top forever. Like, we're in hell. Fuck. Oh God.
Dom
So much about the
Dom
whole
was in that chat too, and he was like, "Ah, I can't wait for the crash outs when Charlotte ends Tiffy time at Mania. It's almost worth another Charlotte title reign." And then Mark
dear
said that he's gonna laugh at Tiffany's stands. They deserve to feel the pain of having Charlotte beat their fave.
Oh my God.
I love this for everyone. Thank you all for providing this content and this entertainment.
I I say this as me. I'm very worried about us as a society. And when I'm worried about you, you're fucked. I mean, Jesus Christ. Um, so yeah, this has been a very different kind of episode because Ashton and I'm just checked out, and Ashton, I mean, he said everything he could say in our preface at the beginning of the episode. So let's just go right to extracurricular. Did you watch anything else this week? Did you watch any AEW as well?
Did I
Like
watch
anything?
AEW this week? That's a legitimately valid question because I know I didn't watch Collision. It's actually on right now. Honestly, Collision came on a half hour ago and it was like a special episode. But did I watch Dynamite this week? I think I watched the main event of Dynamite. That's right. That's what it was. I didn't watch Dynamite until the main event came on because Dynamite's card this week just looked absolutely horrible to me. So the opening match, I will say, just on paper, actually looked pretty good. It was Ricochet versus Orange Cassidy versus Speedball Mike Bailey versus Mark Davis, and that's like, yeah, that's a match that I would want to watch if it happened on like a PWG show. But it's in AEW, and I feel like matches that happen in PW or happen in AEW are way more likely to just be shitty. So I didn't watch that. Then Mercedes Moné versus Billy Starks happened, and I just don't think Billy Starks is good at all. And I think that Mercedes is kind of at that point right now where if her opponent isn't good, I'm probably not going to like the match. Then Moxley versus Cope happened. I don't know if you saw this, but Cope suplexed Moxley onto a fucking nail covered bar. Like, do you remember Janice? Like when Abyss
Yeah.
had Janice?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Moxley basically got suplexed onto something like that.
I saw that Steven Richards, like he did a video on that on his YouTube channel, and I was like, I love you, Richards, and I feel like your breakdowns are great because I've watched like two or three of them, but no, no, that just seems par for the course for Moxley and AEW right now. So pass.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
I knew about that. Yeah,
literally like I saw the clip of that and I watched it to the point that they were trying to pull this spike bat or spike bar or whatever you want to call it out of Moxley's back and they couldn't. It was literally stuck in his skin. They couldn't get it out of his back. And I noped the fuck out of it. And when I say I watched it, I didn't actually watch it on the episode. I watched a clip of it, and I saw that happen, and I was like, "What the fuck? How did that not kill him?" And then they started trying to pull it out, and like, yeah, it was like sticking in his skin, and they couldn't get it out. I'm like, "Wow, hope he got a tetanus shot before then." Um, but then we got Will Ospreay versus AR Fox. You know I love Fox, but everything Ospreay touches turns to shit, so no thanks. And then the main event was what I did watch: Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander. Really good match, fun, enjoyed it. And then shit happened afterwards with Tony Storm and whatever.
yeah. Okay. And anything beyond that?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna open up the forum for questions, everybody. Isn't that wonderful? All right,
Yeah.
anybody that has questions, it's this week in the world of wrestling. So let's go.
Hooray! We have
Yeah.
Q&A this week. Oh boy.
Oh God, we do. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I blanked on that too.
Yeah, it's in 5 days. It's on Thursday.
Boy, okay, that's cool.
If Heyman helps Punk, this would be a heel turn for both of them?
Um,
That's from Caster Sales, by the way.
I don't, I don't think so. Which, speaking of, Punk did allude to that favor again in his promo on
He
Friday. So
did. He was like, speaking of, you owe me a favor, but never mind. Now's not the time.
he just wanted to remind us. I'm almost wondering if they want to do a long form story of that favor. Probably not if he's already mentioning it again, but he finally gets in the main event of WrestleMania next year, and he wants Paul to be like at ringside for it. Be like, my favor is I want you to be my manager, one night only in the main event. I want to share it with you because you were the first person to believe in me in WWE when they wanted to fire me.
Yeah.
That was kind of a working theory I have, but we'll see. If they cash in the favor, I'm obviously wrong. But if nothing comes of it at Mania, then well, there you go. Um, let's see. Um, why was that the main event for AEW? I don't know. I don't watch AEW, and Ashton watched it selectively. I guess Megan Bain. I don't know. They're kind of pushing her right now, so maybe that's why she was in the main
Well,
event.
no, it main evented because it was to determine the number one contender for Tony Storm's title. And Tony
Yeah,
is like, I think, honestly, I think that they had that main event Dynamite because they realized how much they fucked up not having Tony and Mariah main event the actual pay per view. And they were like, well, shit. We can't change that retroactively, so let's just have everything surrounding Timeless Tony Storm main event everything from now on. And so the number one contendership match for her title main evented Dynamite. That's my guess.
right. Javaris, I have not. I'm guessing you sent me a message on Discord. I'm not even signed into Discord right now. I'll do that after the show. But I do thank you for thinking of me and like alerting me to that because that will be very interesting to see Stevenson take that L. Javaris then asked, scale of 1 to 10 with Charlotte Tiffany, how boned are we? Well, we're not boned, Ash and I, because we're skipping that match, so it's a 0 for us. But anybody that will watch it, I mean, if you're a fan, I guess that's also a 1. But anybody that watches it just because it's like, no, I like to judge a card all the way through, but they don't like those people, then yeah, you're a 10.
7.
You're 7. That's also fair, I guess. Um, but yeah, if you hate both women and you're watching it because you're a completionist, yeah, it's you're screwed. Um, let's see, caster sales. Do you think Penta will beat Braun at Mania? No, no, no. I think Braun
I
will
do.
retain.
I really do.
Interesting.
Which
All
you
right.
know what that could change by the time we actually get to WrestleMania preview predictions. But as of right now, I'm just gonna say yeah, I think Penta is probably gonna win the IC title. He's a really hot act right now.
There you go. Uh, Bestie asked, does anyone else feel like they're just getting sick of wrestling in general? Kind of, but then the really good stuff reminds me why I love it. Like, I'm still kind of smiling thinking about, Io versus Rhea from, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago at this point?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just got to cook for me. But yeah, I mean, I thought WrestleMania would feel more magical this year, but that honestly, that was on me. I mean, when Cody Rhodes is your WWE champion, you're already shooting yourself in one leg and then, kind of aiming a bullet at another leg. So, let's see. Super Blue. Okay, so this is, I think, a question from Super Blue. Why is Evans involved with Trick and Oba after Eddie got clapped instead of leading the charge against the new faction from Stand and Deliver? The family and Fraxium should join him. I don't know, man. I mean, you guys already know we don't like the writing of Trick right now. Maybe I'll start to like it now that he can calm the fuck down now that he beat Eddie Thorpe. Um, but yeah, I mean, I also did want Javon versus Oba at Stand and Deliver anyway. So, I mean, I'm really not going to complain if Javon gets in that title picture. I felt like Ethan was a complete waste of his time. I'd like to see him against somebody the caliber of Oba. So, yeah, I really don't have a problem with anything happening. And it'd be hypocritical for me to have a problem with it because I didn't even watch NXT this week. So, like, I don't
I
know.
mean, can I
Wake me
also
up.
just say, like, I feel like Javon is trying to lead the charge against the new faction from Stand and Deliver. He's trying to lead the charge by recruiting the most powerful people that he knows, which is Trick and Oba, and they're like, no, fuck you, we want to fight each other instead, and they're being foolish about it.
Yeah.
He was literally like, he got between them and he was like, listen, guys, focus on the real problem at hand here. And he pointed out to the guys. They're called Dark State, by the way, I believe.
Okay.
The new faction. He literally was like, Trick, Oba, focus up. Focus on Dark State. They're the real problem here. And that was when he got fucking thrown. Like he got fucking pie faced. He was trying to get them to focus on Dark State. And they were like, no, fuck you. We want to fight each other instead.
Also, I know that I'm going to be in hot water here and I'm going to be by myself. I don't even fully expect you to like come in with me for this because I know, like, maybe I'll be a bit illogical here. And I know you like to keep it logical. Dark State is kind of Trick's fault. Because, and this is why I hate
Wait,
asshole Trick
really?
Williams
I want
because,
to know where this is coming from. I'm very curious. You've got
well, no,
me.
because think about it. Dion has that run in with Oba, and he says, Oba, one day I'm going to face you for that title. Oba isn't disrespectful. He even kind of nods and he kind of thinks about it. He's like, sure, if you earn it, yeah, why not? He had a run in with Trick. I forget what exactly it was, but Trick disrespected him. Might have even said, like, you're never going to be champion or you're never going to be Oba or, like, whatever. They had some kind of run in where he disrespected him. Dion left the building and he's like, I hate this place. This place sucks. And then we see him again with Dark State. So, like, because Trick shit on Dion, and I'm not saying Dion responded healthily, right? He's a grown man, he's responsible for his own actions. But the catalyst for it was he got disrespected by Trick. Because I feel like the next time we saw Dion was with this faction. So asshole Trick Williams is negatively impacting NXT, like in kayfabe. Like, chill out. Fuck. So yeah, I'm really not liking Trick, and NXT and kayfabe shouldn't be liking Trick either because you made this faction possible. And you know what? Like, yeah, that's my argument. I wish I could remember the exact segment where Trick disrespected Dion, but I know it happened. I know
It
it
was
happened.
before. It was before. If I remember correctly, it was even before Stand and Deliver,
I believe you're correct.
because I believe Dark State's first attack was on Stand and Deliver.
Yes. And so yeah, like I
There
just
are a lot of people who think that Trick is the leader of Dark State, that he's like, the real puppet master behind the faction.
if that is the case, then I will rescind a considerable amount of my criticism because I'm like, okay, cool. At least he's an asshole with a purpose. But yeah, other than that, I don't fucking know. Anyway, I
Do
don't
we?
even think
I
this.
mean, do we think that that makes sense though? Like who has Dark State? Because from what I understand, Dark State has attacked basically everyone but Trick. Like they've attacked Oba. They attacked Javon, right?
I believe they did attack Javon.
Yeah. So
Yes.
they attacked Oba. They attacked Javon. They attacked Tony D and the family. So like they're attacking all of like the main event level guys except Trick. They haven't attacked Trick yet.
Son of a bitch. And you know what, Javars? On this, I know we haven't agreed exactly about like the booking of Trick, but on this, I actually will agree with you. This is why I hated the booking of Trick the first time when he lost the title to
Yeah,
Ethan without
yeah,
directly losing the title.
yeah.
Just give the man a fucking rematch.
Yeah, this
Like,
is something that John and I have both been complaining about for months now. Is like Trick fucking slips on a banana peel and loses the title to Ethan Page for no fucking reason because Trick literally won the title for Ethan by hitting him with a trick shot and Javon both the trick shots. It just happened to hit Ethan with the trick shot after he hit Javon, and Ethan fell into the cover. And then Trick got pulled out by Sean Spears. It was total nonsense to the point that Trick should have gotten his rematch literally the next episode of NXT immediately because like that was the absolute definition of a fluke. And it took so many hoops for him to jump through before he finally got it.
yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, like the booking of Trick Williams in NXT is legitimately confounding to me. It is atrocious. They went from this dude being the coolest act of the company, the face of the brand, to actively cooling him off on purpose, then putting the title back on him just long enough to have an even hotter act beat him and then basically turning him heel. Like he's a dickhead now to the point that I might as well just consider him a heel.
Exactly.
If he didn't have his theme song, he'd be a heel right now. But because he still has his theme song with the crowd interaction in the theme song, he still gets cheered for because of his theme song. But he's a fucking asshole right now.
I'll tell you, Booker, you gotta really help along with this process and just stop hyping the man up during his entrance. You gotta ease us into this heel turn because he might be the leader of Dark State. You got me looking at this in a whole new way. But anyway, we'll table that for now. Javaris is kind of freaking out in the comments that David Finley's gonna be challenging Goto. I mean, New Japan gonna New Japan. Not a surprise to me. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if David Finley beat Goto and Goto was a transitional champion.
Yeah.
In which case, again, I am so sorry, Zack Sabre
Transitioning
Jr.
between Gaijin. Oh, God.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
Ah. What does New Japan really stand for again?
No Japanese, prefer whites.
Oh.
Fuck. Super Blue.
I want to.
How do you feel about Nick turning heel on Matt Hardy at the TNA pay-per-view and going after the TNA tag titles with his brother? Nemeth, not even once. I don't know. I feel like yeah, that works. Super Blue, why
I'm
does Trick
sorry.
always...
How can Nick Nemeth turn heel? Hasn't he been heel the whole fucking time?
I feel like he's been face, to be fair, and now he's like definitively turned heel. So I know. I know. I could hear your like soul just being like, why? I know. Um, why does Trick always accept multi-man matches first time? Dude, Ava's the GM in kayfabe. I doubt Trick has like, what's he gonna do? Be like, so Ava, I heard you announce that fatal five-way. No.
I
What?
mean, dude, you know what though? Can we just address how often do we see baby faces be like, yeah, sure, I'll take you all on at once. But then when heels are champion, they're like, why don't you all fight amongst each other to find out who my next contender is?
That is true. That is true.
Why can't the baby faces be smart about that shit?
Can I just say too, like not even like unrelated, because I will bring it back to this. This is why Teddy Long was a goated GM, because he never let heels do any of that shit.
Yeah.
JBL would be like, but Teddy, I just had a fatal four-way at the last pay-per-view. Well, you're having a triple threat at this one. And then you know what? After that, you're having a barbed wire steel cage match. Fuck you, playa.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like Ava is an actual heel GM. She just won't admit it. I mean, it makes sense though because look who her papa is.
That is the galaxy brain take we've been looking for this whole time because it's correct and it ties everything together. Holy shit, you cracked it.
The
Shit.
final mini boss.
Bro, what if Ava's the leader of Dark State because she controls all the power? Dude,
Yo,
that'd be nuts.
oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait,
Okay.
wait! Robert Stone was a victim of Dark State.
Yeah, he was.
Ava Stone consolidated power.
Ooh.
Or Ava, wait, does Ava have a last name?
Ava Stevie, right?
Ava, wait, what?
Are you thinking Stevie Turner? Because she's also the assistant to Ava alongside Robert, right? Or at least she
Ava
was.
Rain. Ava Rain was her name before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just
Oh,
Ava
I
now,
see.
but yeah, Ava. It's just
Okay, I see what
Ava
you're saying.
now. But yeah, Ava consolidated power
Yeah, there you go.
because Stevie was under Robert.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And if Robert's gone, Stevie gets cut out too.
Yeah. Oh my. Ava's the leader of Dark State.
Robert has been relegated to commentary on Evolve.
Oh, that's and you know what? He actually does pretty well there, to be fair. But yeah.
When he's not trying too hard to heal it up, I agree.
Super Blue, did you see the number 4 video package for a new wrestler on SmackDown? No, I did not.
Phoenix.
Yeah, that's another reason why I feel like Penta isn't going to win the IC title, because they're just going to want to pair him with Phoenix to win
See,
tag
and I would
gold.
hate that so much because, like, we criticized AEW for only ever using the Lucha Bros as a tag team, and they're so good as individual single stars. If WWE would make that same mistake, I'd be pissed. I want Penta to be a single star. I want Phoenix to be a single star. Let them do shit singles.
Let me say this about Phoenix, because I think as a singles wrestler, I like him more than Penta, because I think that this won't be Gunther's last time as world champion if he drops it to Jey Uso. Gunther and Phoenix could maybe replicate in a WWE environment, mind you, a Mil Muertes Phoenix kind of feud and brutality in a WWE
Dude,
ring. Yeah.
the powerbomb chain on ladders on the outside of the ring that Mill did to Phoenix in that one Grave Consequences match.
Yeah. Yeah. But then that's how you make Phoenix a fiery babyface, because like rising from the ashes, can't die, etc. No, I see a lot of potential in a babyface Phoenix, so much so that more so than Penta, and I understand how ridiculously over Penta is. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like Phoenix has world title potential. Penta, not so much. Phoenix, definitely. Phoenix, definitely. That is your next just strong-willed, find a way to win babyface, the plucky babyface. I think he could really be great. Let's see. Javaris, bro, at this point, is Ava in character anti-black with this show with Drake? No, I wouldn't go that far, Javaris.
Bro,
But
let's not
yeah.
forget that when she reinstated Brooks Jensen, the first thing that he did was go after, was it Javon even? I think it was Javon. And
Yeah.
she did nothing about it.
Bro, the optics are so bad. Jesus Christ.
This dude literally, she reinstated this dude and was like, "You're walking on thin ice, Buster." And he immediately attacked one of her top black athletes. And she was like, "Well, maybe I could make an exception."
Yeah, Brooks be like, I just skated across it. Face.
Yeah. Like,
Fuck.
it's the fact that she is the authority figure on NXT and the fact that NXT is written in such a way that feels so anti-black is why Ava feels anti-black. Like, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, all this is the same fucking way. All this comes off as anti-black too because of how many fucking hoops he made Street Profits jump through to get to the
God.
titles.
Dude, I know. Jesus Christ. Super Blue, will Moxley even be able to defend his title against Swerve at AEW Density in 2 weeks? Wait, AEW Density? Do you mean Destiny, by the way? Because I feel like that's a really weird name.
Dynasty.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who the fuck named their pay-per-view Density? What the fuck?
It's called Dynasty.
I was really about to have a blue screen of death in my own face. How dare you, Super Blue? Jesus Christ.
John really had a 404 error in his brain.
Yeah, dude. I can't even cap about it. 100% I did. Yeah, probably. Super Blue, don't get worried. You know that they're going to fucking do this match. Unless there came a report out that Moxley's legit injured. It's fucking happening. Just like LA Knight not being a world champion is still happening. It's all still happening. All right.
Why are you asking that question because of the nail spot?
He probably is, but like,
I mean, he's got some holes in his back. So what?
Yeah. Thank you, Ashton Kingston.
Was that Kofi? I thought that was X that said that.
I know, it was Kofi.
Oh god, that makes it so much worse. Fuck.
Which is why I love that guy, the TikTok that Sean shared after the fact, and that guy just straight up called Kofi, "You bird chest bitch." And I'm like, fuck.
I remember that too. Fuck.
I miss loving the New Day, and I miss the New Day as a trio.
I miss Big E, man.
There's a hole in my heart where he should be.
Same.
All right.
At least there's not a hole in our literal chests like Kofi.
Oh. Ashton's like, no, I wasn't done popping myself over it. I'm getting it in. The hole's
Yeah.
big enough. I can fit everything in there. I'm doing it. Damn it. Uh, uh, let's see. Let's go to an actual question. Super Blue again. Are you ready to see Jimmy get jumped by Gunther after the Usos beat A-Town down on Raw next week? Jay has to find a
Why
partner
would
for the match.
Jimmy get jumped by Gunther?
Well, because Jay has to find a partner, and so who better than Jimmy? And I guess
Why
Jimmy.
would wait, okay. So to be clear, if Gunther attacks Jimmy Uso, he's written horribly. The real threat is Sami Zayn, clearly.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
He still friends with Ludwig? Are Gunther and Ludwig still associated with each other at all? Because
I think
they should attack both Jimmy and Sammy. That's the real answer.
there you go. There you go.
I mean, you attack those two guys, and really, like, who does Jay have left? I don't think that Seth is really like gonna go fuck around with him anymore.
Right.
My mom's saying she thinks Rhea Ripley would help him. That would actually be amazing, though. I would love Jay Uso and Rhea Ripley as a tag team to beat A-Town Down Under on Raw.
That does sound amazing,
No, but
admittedly.
Rhea's too busy being a sore loser, trying to fucking shoehorn herself into a triple threat with Io and Bianca.
I say this again as me. Rhea needs therapy. Not as much as Mark Grayson and really everybody in the Invincible universe, but she put her on the list. Like everybody, there should just be a giant mega therapy list for like characters across all sorts of shows. Rhea is on that list because she was crashing the fuck out thinking that Bianca wasn't really her friend. She needs to process shit.
Yeah, that promo right after she lost the title to Io. Yeah, she's going through it for sure.
Javaris asking thoughts on Homicide having to retire due to doctors finding a cyst in his brain. Um, I'm never gonna fake anything. I'm happy that he's obviously gonna be able to walk away and not, God forbid, die or whatever. If that cyst would rupture or whatever. I mean, that's always scary stuff like that. I never watched much of Homicide, but I will say I saw LAX when they first came in with Conan, and even as a kid, they felt so different. And I will say, one of these days, I'd like to make a master list of like even my top 20, if I could, favorite wrestling theme songs. I think that LAX theme, the first one, would be on there. That shit is fucking fire, okay? And Homicide was crazy. Him and
Dude,
Hernandez,
I
that
miss
tag,
Hernandez so much. He was such a highlight of Lucha Underground when he was there.
dude, I feel like that guy got shafted by the business because he should have been a TNA world
I
champion.
was gonna say he got shafted by quote checks notes being in TNA for too long.
God, you could say that about so many fucking guys.
It's
Jesus Christ.
so true. The guys and girls. Think about
Yeah,
Jordan Grace. Even like she should have been in NXT years ago. Fuck.
yeah. No, him and Hernandez, they were, and that is one thing I'll say about TNA. Like, there was a period where everything seemed to come together for that company. And that tag division, you think about Motor City Machine Guns, Beer Money, LAX, you'd be lucky for an individual talent or a tag team to capture lightning in a bottle. And yet, in my opinion, of those three teams, you did it 3 fucking times. And like LAX, I feel like kind of gets slept on a bit relative to the other two because Guns and Beer Money had that amazing best of, I think, 7 series. But LAX, their stuff with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels was fantastic. Homicide, I always thought worked really well in the ring. He definitely got down, was able to be hardcore. I'll never forget when he took a glass table spot from Beer Money when they power bombed him through it because they were building up Beer Money to be the team to beat a then babyface LAX. But yeah, LAX was fucking fire. So again, Doris, I'm not gonna like say things I don't mean or I don't know. My biggest exposure to Homicide was LAX, but that tag team kicked fucking ass. And in fact, even talking about this long, at some point this week, I'm going to listen to that theme song, probably on a loop, because that shit was fucking fire. I love the packaging. Even Conan, I think, really brought it. And yeah, Homicide was cool as shit from what I saw. I don't know, Ashton, did you see much of Homicide outside of LAX? I think we both saw LAX, right? That was both during our
Yeah.
time.
I
But
know that
yeah.
he had a pretty decent ROH run. But that's about it.
Yeah. But I'm just, Javaris, honestly, in this business, and you know it, brother, we should always be happy when people are able to walk away on their own power and not be in a wheelchair or fucking worse. I'm so tired of wrestlers dying. And the idea that we won't have to add Homicide on the list because of this, because he took some weird bump and oh my God, the cyst burst or ruptured or whatever the fuck. Like, good. Good. And who knows? I mean, science, I mean, maybe not so much anymore with this fucking country, but science has been making incredible advancements lately. And who knows? He might be able to get that cyst removed safely, or there might be some kind of treatment, and maybe he would get back in the ring. But if it's over, I mean, what a fucking career. And really, I'll say this about Homicide too. Eddie Kingston fucking loves the shit out of Homicide. I remember I saw on YouTube a promo he cut for NWA Power on D'Angelo Dinero. I don't know if that was like his name in NWA Power, but like that's just how I know him in my brain right now. And he said like Homicide stopped him from committing suicide. And
Damn.
Eddie doesn't really lie. So like yeah, if Homicide can say I saved the life of somebody I cared about, what a beautiful fucking life to live. And I hope Homicide, whatever life he gets to have left, he enjoys it on his terms, because wrestlers are more than wrestlers, right? We all contain multitudes in us. And I hope Homicide, now having known this knowledge, can peacefully and joyously go and discover the multitudes in himself. That's all I have to say about it. Let's see. Oh, Super Blue again. Are you ready for the likely? Oh, here we go. Are you ready for the likely LA Knight, Braun, Solo, Jacob US title 4-way match at WrestleMania? I hope Jacob wins. Fuck LA Knight, and honestly, fuck everybody else in that match, because Solo, I don't know, Solo be trying to sabotage Jacob. I'm not really here for that.
That's a fun sounding match, but oh god, why does LA Knight have to be involved?
Exactly. See, you get it.
You know things are bad when I'm even open to Braun Strowman being involved, but not Ass Stick.
This is why Shinsuke shouldn't have dropped the title.
Right? See, where's Andrade?
Yes. Where is Andrade, actually?
Not enough of. I actually did a little fun thing last night while SmackDown was on, and I didn't know if maybe you would want to attempt to participate. It's a little bit thought provoking, so I don't know if you want to try because it might take a little time. But do you think that within the confines of like maybe 3 to 5 minutes, you could come up with your top 10 most entertaining acts on the SmackDown brand right now?
How many would you want me to come up with again?
Top 10.
Okay, I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
If I'm going to do this,
Yes.
I need you to write the acts as I say them, because I'm going to trip over myself, and you're going to have to tell me you already said that. Okay?
I will do that. Let me get my keyboard pulled up.
I will indulge you if you indulge me, and if you're indulging me, then I will do it.
I got it. We're good.
Excellent. Number 1, easily Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I would say number 2, Street Profits as a tag team. So I'm not going to cheat like separate. 3, Jacob Fatu.
Okay, that's 3.
4, Shinsuke Nakamura. Although
Shinsuke?
I don't know what's going to happen with him now, but he was on SmackDown recently enough that I think it should count.
Yeah, I agree.
5, I would say Pretty Deadly for 5. I like Pretty Deadly.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? 5, Naomi, because I'm loving Naomi right now. I don't know if they're gonna drop the ball. 6 for Pretty Deadly sounds more appropriate.
That's fine.
7. Would it be cheating if I pulled up the SmackDown roster page?
No, absolutely not. No, I would encourage it, as a matter of fact. And really,
I was doing this off the top of my head.
I can even send you a link to a really good.
Yeah, please do, because like I don't mind spending the time, but like I also don't want to overstay, mainly from hemming and hawing. So if I have a roster page, I should probably avoid that.
Absolutely. Let me send you the WWE SmackDown. Boom, boom, to John. Boom, sent.
You're so talented.
SmackDown Hotel is a fantastic resource for things like this.
Okay. God, I'd love to say Andrade, but I feel like we don't see him enough. You know what? Oh, God, I'm seeing her. How did I blank on her? Okay, can you give me my top 5? Because I know I put Pretty Deadly at 6, and that's fine. Okay. I'm fine with them at 6. What are my top 5 again?
1, KO, 2, Street Profits, 3, Jacob Fatu, 4, Nakamura, 5, Naomi.
You know what? Put Nakamura at 7. Put Chelsea Green at 4.
Oh.
I actually totally forgot about Chelsea, and that's not fair. She is incredible, and she should definitely be top 5.
Okay, so we're doing Chelsea Green, then Naomi, then Pretty Deadly, then Nakamura?
Yeah, and Nakamura 7, right?
Yeah.
I would put Drew at 8. Roman at 9. And you know what? I'll say Orton at 10. I'm kind of enjoying Orton right now, but he's
Okay.
just there. He's
All right.
just there.
Yeah, that's fair. So I did this as well. I had a few other people do it in another server, and there are a lot of common elements actually. So my top 10, I said Andrade, Legado del Fantasma, Street Profit, and this is not in order, by the way. Mine is not in order.
Right.
Street Profits, Bianca Belair, Chelsea, Damian Priest, Jacob Fatu, Orton, Owens, Roman. That's my top 10.
Nice. I'm really proud of us that we got to that so quickly because I really thought it was going to hold us up for like 15 minutes. I'm really glad it didn't take that long.
Yeah. And I had other people do it, and I noticed that sort of like the most common names that came up for pretty much everybody were Kevin Owens, the Street Profits, Chelsea Green,
Yes.
and Bianca, which you didn't mention Bianca because I think that you're just thinking of her as a Raw person, but I even added specifically in my prompt when I was asking other people to do it to include Cody, Cena, and Bianca because I do consider them all to be still SmackDown, even though they're showing up more on Raw lately.
Yeah, and I do like Bianca, but honestly, I still stand by my list because I mean that Naomi promo. I mean, Bianca did well on her side, but like Naomi ate. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
So
I should have pushed her harder.
But yeah, so I would definitely say like Bianca, Chelsea, Street Profits, KO, and Randy to a certain degree. There were more people that mentioned Randy than not. It's
Yeah.
like that's kind of like the core basically of SmackDown right now. And yet, like, how many of the people that we just listed actually hold titles? It's Chelsea, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How sad is that?
I hate that Kevin Owens is probably never going to be a world champion again when he literally is getting done the best work of his career. I hate you, Cody Rhodes, forever and all time.
I also think that it's worth noting that like Legado del Fantasma had a segment this week and it was really good, and those guys are all great workers. And you didn't even have them in your top 10. It's not even because you don't like them; it's just because they don't get enough to do and they don't win and stuff.
Exactly. Just very quickly here on Super Blue, why is WWE having that one guy to roast WrestleMania after what he said? I mean, literally, we already kind of touched on the Super Blue. We're in a state right now where the Overton window, which is the level of
Caster
acceptable
Sales
discourse.
pretty much nailed it because Trump won Super Blue.
Yeah, like so many institutions from entertainment to colleges, I mean, especially universities. Guys, as a guy that's very plugged into academia, I am ashamed of universities. So many people are doing what we would call advanced compliance. Like, oh, please, Daddy Trump, don't smite me. Don't be mean to me. I'll do what you want. I'll hate the trans people. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And WWE, I think, has always been more of a conservative company anyway. I mean, Linda McMahon, right? Enough fucking said.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought that would change a bit more under Triple H. Apparently fucking not. So that's really disappointing. Javaris, boxing related, any thoughts on George Foreman passing away? Literally no thoughts. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. No thoughts.
I appreciate your grills, Mr. Foreman, but other than that, I don't know much about you.
Exactly. So then Javaris asked, also, John, do you have any thought on Kenta going back to Noah and now he's going to get a shot at the GHC Heavyweight Championship? I haven't watched Kenta in forever, but we have Wrestle Universe. If he is fighting for the yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say, bro, you've got to see the current GHC champion, Ozawa. Dude is kind of nuts.
Interesting.
We've never seen him before. We've never watched him wrestle before. DBK posted a highlight video at 9:04 p.m. today of his match with Masa Kitamiya. Bro, he impressed me like to the point that I popped twice in this little like, how long is this video? 1 minute 21-second clip.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he's getting a title shot, we have Wrestle Universe. I might check it out. Maybe we may want to watch it together. I don't know. I haven't watched Kenta in so long. I'm just happy that Kent is happy because I know like he's just been wrestling a lot more on the whole since leaving WWE. And, good for him. I think he's a badass. I don't know how much he's slowed down or whatever. I don't know how he's changed because, again, it's been a long time since I watched him. But, he's amazing. I have very fond memories of him, and I'm rooting for him. So it's good stuff. Super Blue. Oh, man. Why do I feel like something's coming here with this question? Because I only read part of it.
No.
Why isn't Santos getting blamed for his... Oh, yep, here it is. Why isn't Santos getting blamed for his failures in LDF? but he is on Garza and Umberto's ass every time.
Who's going to hold him accountable? Who exactly do you expect to hold Santos accountable? Do you think that Garza and Umberto are going to do it? Because he is their boss, he is their leader. So, like, do you think we're going to get like an uprising within LDF? Because at that point, it wouldn't be LDF anymore. He is El Fantasma, for fuck's sakes. You can't have a Legado del Fantasma without El Fantasma in it, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, see, that was the sensible answer. Now here's me, because I just big sighed. What gives anybody the right to try and hold Santos accountable? Are they beautiful? I didn't think so.
I mean,
So,
yes, we're talking about Umberto and Angel Garza here, so
I
yes.
mean, yeah, but I'm saying, like, if they can't stand up for themselves, which, I mean, look, it does say, they are a familia, right? That's what Santos has said. Families can fight it out, but, speak up if you have a problem. I'm just saying that Santos, maybe he would like people that would win a little more. He has a vision. And now they've lost Electra Lopez, which still pisses me off.
Dude,
Um,
oh, fuck this company. God damn it.
I know, dude. I know.
Oh.
But yeah, Super Blue, they just need to start winning and then everything will get better. You asked another question. If The Rock turns on Cena at the end of the year, will that redeem him? No,
No, it would have to be
because
the other way around. It would have to be Cena turning on The Rock, and it would have to be earlier than the end of the year. It'd have to be in like the summer.
and even then, like, I'm sus on that because it wasn't Rock that told Cena to say you're all like awful and toxic and abusive. Cena very clearly tried to convey like he meant that shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like if Cena would have turned on Cody, used The Rock's help to beat Cody for his 17th title, and then The Rock would have continued to try and be like Cena's overseer, and Cena would have turned on The Rock, that's a face turn. That works. But Cena turning on Cody, becoming, selling his soul to The Rock, and then telling the fans to go fuck themselves, it doesn't really matter what you do to The Rock at that point because you're not a heel because of The Rock. You're a heel because you told the fans to go fuck themselves.
Exactly. Oh God. You know what? I think I'm closing questions. I'm seeing where this chat's going. I am not tolerating this LA Knight propaganda. So I'm gonna close the gate, y'all. Let's move on to our next segment: high spots and low shots. God, this is gonna be the most half-hearted one I've done in a while because I was so checked out this week. Um, Low shot.
Somebody needs to do a really detailed study on age versus win percentage in WWE because I would be willing to put money on them being directly correlated. The older you are in WWE, the higher your win rate. I promise you.
There you go.
And I say that because LA Knight's old as fuck, which is why he gets booked to win so much.
Bro, he's so in the
He
way.
is.
Fuck.
He's in his 40s already, and like he still can't move or sell or wrestle. And yeah, he's
How does he not tear everything when his music hits? Like it defies human anatomy.
maybe
I
the
think,
ass stick is holding everything together. Maybe that's why it's up there.
bro, oh my God, you're so fucking wise. Holy shit. Um, I'm gonna tell you, man. I think my low shot's just gonna be Finn. I love Finn to death, but
Wait, what did Finn do?
he lost to Braun
To
Breaker, right? This
Bronathan,
past Monday.
that's right. I really hope that this whole like power struggle within the confines of the Judgment Day ends before WrestleMania, or at the very least, like at the very latest, the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, yeah. I just miss babyface Finn, man, and I
I
like
don't
even
even
the
care
baby.
about Finn. I really just want Aleister Black to show up.
Yeah, dude, we got a second chance potentially with Aleister Black, and I'm fucking
That's what I'm
psyched.
excited about because he's obviously done with AEW and he hasn't he's disappeared off the face of the earth, which tells me they're revving up for a debut or return, I should say.
I'm telling you, if he would be the one to beat like Jay at SummerSlam, again, presuming that Jay even wins the title, which I mean,
I don't
come
think he
on,
will.
you don't think he will? That's very interesting.
I
Let's see if
don't
you're
think
right,
either of the world titles are changing hands. Actually, no. Now I've gotten to the point that I think Cena has to win the WWE title at Mania.
bro. If Cody retains, you know what? Let
Dude,
me
that
just
would
leave that
be
thought alone. Let me just leave that thought alone. I don't need to get us charged.
dude.
Um,
Oh my god, that would be brutal. You have Cena betray the fans. You have Cena stop doing Make-A-Wishes to build him up as the heel for Cody. Also that Cody can just add another notch on his fucking belt. Jesus Christ.
He has such a punchable face. Fuck. What even were we talking about? Are we still on low shots
I
or high?
haven't even given my low shot
I
yet
figured you
either.
had. Why are we still here? Go. Fuck.
My low shot. I'm gonna do a real deep grab into the handbag for this one. Hayes Jameson is my low shot because I really liked her, and I thought that she was gonna get to really show her stuff in her match, and then Callie Armstrong just fucking destroyed her in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was rough. She got hazed. Um,
She did.
you know
She
what?
had personality too. She was like, everyone that knows me knows that I'm the life of the party. She got destroyed.
Party, party's over, Grandma. So I'm turning up and crashing the fuck out. So I'll tell you who my high spot is. Ava for being the leader of Dark State.
Oh,
And so no, I think I'll make her my honorary high spot because I believe the theory and I'm sticking to it. And this is our show, and I'll do whatever the fuck I want. But my actual high spot is Trick Williams for finally beating Eddie Thorpe. When I mean, I'm gonna be that guy. You shouldn't have lost to him in the first place. Now calm the fuck down. So yeah, Trick is my high spot. Who's your high spot?
did anyone win any titles this week?
No.
What the fuck was that?
I told you I'm turning up and crashing out. Now give a high spot before it gets worse.
I'm so uncomfortable. Okay, Megan Bain, because she's the #1 contender for Tony Storm's title.
Good. See, you didn't have to feign your praise of the Bane. That all worked out. All right.
Super Blue, you've never been more wrong than you are now, and you're a fucking LA Knight fan. Jesus Christ.
dude, I thought you were gonna step fully on his throat and be like, and you're an LA Knight, Mark, deal with it. And it's just like, fuck. You pulled back just a bit, but you still gave him what for? Oh god, this this place still has redeeming qualities. All right. Fuck. Yeah, you know what? By the way, Super Blue, just because we're clocking the fuck out, LA Knight's still a self-marked shitter, and I hope he fails. Anyway, yeah, that was the show this week. Wrestling really needs to get good immediately because I am tilting in my own face in real time, and I'm very scared. But yeah, leave a like as you file out, subscribe for the bell icon notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And we will see you guys again. When are we seeing these people again? Is it going to be what, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Probably Tuesday, I would say.
For Marty Gold, right?
Indeed.
Are we thinking 5 or 6?
I don't know. We'll see. Probably, you know what? Let's assume 6. And if it has to be 5 because there's more content than we expect, we'll be sure to let everyone know.
Well, I'll definitely assume that because I wouldn't mind sharing an ass between you and me. Anyway, I'm about to get weird when we hang up here on this show, so I don't need any of you to be privy to it. So get out. We're done. Take care. Be good to yourselves and each other, I guess. I mean, everybody else is treating people like shit, so goodness has to be somewhere. Let it come from you, like preventing forest fires because
be
there aren't
the
any rangers
change
anymore.
that you want to see in the world.
Yeah, what this guy said. So do it or don't, whatever. Later. That's it. Later. Take us home.